Welcome to Language Surfers Podcast, a space with fresh waves for the mind, dedicated to create a platform where professionals from both language industry and academia can share their professional experiences, and where we also explore different career paths at different stages. Well, thank you so much, Ekaterina, for accepting the invitation to join me. I'm really excited and honored to have you. And I would like to start with asking you the question about your professional trajectory. What did you study and what was the motivation to study what you did?
Thank you, Anka, for inviting me. Firstly, it's a great pleasure. And about my journey, after school, I went to study as a pharmacist. And during my fourth year, I just saw an ad offering a part-time job as a translator, as a medical translator. And I went on with it, I tried it, and I just liked it very much. The process of translation, because by then I've tried several jobs to earn some money, because students always need some money. And none of them was that satisfying. And I continued translating. It was very hard at first. I still remember my first day with my first clinical trial article. It was a nightmare, but still I like the process. I got a lot of feedback, and but it's just the learning curve, I guess. So I liked it very much, and back then I had the opportunity to enroll in like an additional education program to become a translator in the field of my first degree. So I've enrolled in this program and I graduated as a pharmacist. The next year I graduated as a translator, and by then I was working in a medical translation agency in a small company as an editor and project manager. And that's very much the beginning of my journey, I think. Then I've worked a little bit more in a translation agency. And in the end of 2010, I became a freelancer. I just realized I don't want to grow as a manager and I want to grow as a translator.
The reason why it was such a direct question is because I really love your profile. I mean, we've got several conversations before recording this episode, and I was really amazed by your profile because, as you well mentioned, you studied pharmacy as your first choice, and then you discovered and moved into the translation industry. But the question is, what motivated you to move into the translation industry? And I think it's an amazing combination to have this background in pharmacy and then start your translation career path. How did that happen, apart from this job that you saw?
Oh, let me think. You know, when back in high school, when I was thinking like which profession I'd like to choose, I was kind of choosing between the humanities, languages, literature, and chemistry and biology. So I think it's all just clicked together when I started translating. I think that's, I didn't have any higher level motivations back then, just to do a job that I like, because I've tried promoting, I've tried working in a pharmacy. I had an idea of what I would do in a pharmaceutical company. So just translation was something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's all.
And did you get to work in a pharmacy and in a pharma company, or you directly started with your translation path?
I started with translation path. When I graduated as a pharmacist, I was already working in a translation agency.
Okay.
So I've worked part-time in a pharmacy earlier because after third year of studies, you're allowed to work in a pharmacy like a pharmacy technician or assistant. It's how it works in many countries. You either have the bachelor and master, or you have the integrated degree, but in the middle you get like this intermediate qualification that allows you to work part-time in the pharmacist. So that's what I've tried and I didn't like it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, but it's great to discover pretty earlier what you really like and what you don't. So I think
Yeah.
it was really nice experience to have. And
I
if
think it
we
was just luck. Yeah.
and if we look fast forward into your professional career, I've noticed that you wear basically many hats in the sense that apart from translation, you also do medical writing. So can you tell us a bit about this transition and what motivated it? It's like having several types of jobs that you combine.
Yeah. Okay. So I've started writing a blog, I think around 2011, gradually. There was a large website for translators that's now kind of, uh, I think, outlived its days. But back then it was a big thing. And they introduced the blogging platform. So I thought I'd try. And I started writing something. But for a long time, it was just a blog. Uh, I think around COVID, I realized that I want to try something new. But in but it was COVID. Then I had a lot of translation work because it's medical translation, and there was high demand in medical translation back then. But around 2022, I really well, I think just a job opening for a medical writer caught my eye, and I thought, well, what is a medical writer? I could do medical writing. It's all about texts. I'm working with medical texts already, and I'm writing, so why not? Turned out it was a bit more complicated than that, but it's a different story. So I've been doing medical writing since I think June 2022. I found a job, like a freelance position in a marketing agency that created promotional materials for pharmaceutical companies mostly. That's how it started. And right now, it's hard for me to acknowledge, I think, but I work full time as a medical writer. Now,
Wow.
it's just, it happened in autumn, and I've been in translation for so many years. It's hard to acknowledge it, but I think I've made the full translation now. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
congratulations. And I
thank you.
think I really like this pattern when you say, I just saw a job description and then your career path takes a different
Yeah,
direction.
yeah,
So watch out
there's a
whenever you meet
pattern. Yeah,
another job posting there.
yeah, that's true.
And how difficult is it for someone to pivot into a field like medical writing, sorry, from a translation point of view? Is it difficult? Did you sign up for any specific courses, or was it just learning by doing?
Oh, so it's there are some challenges. Translators have a lot of skills and knowledge that is useful. I think the most important thing that is that you have this background knowledge of medicine and also the skills of working with texts, reading literature, searching, then writing. But it came as a surprise to me that it's kind of obvious, but uh, it came as a surprise that when you create a text from scratch, you own more than when you recreate it in another language. So you have to think about the layout, the target audience, the whole format and flow of ideas and thoughts and readability. Because when you translate, you still write the text, but a lot of these things have been decided for you. You just recreate them in another language. You can localize it for a different culture or a different country, but still, it's the work is a bit different. So I think that was the most challenging aspect. And with writing also, it's not enough to take a course or two. You need a skill. Writing is a skill, it's not a knowledge that you can acquire by studying somewhere. So for me, I think I was lucky to find this position in an agency early on and start with that, because I think the most important things for a translator to acquire are these additional skills, not the knowledge. There is some knowledge, of course. You need to understand the style guides. In terms of medical writing, you need to understand the regulations, why you can't say this and you can't say this, and you need to give reference for every statement. And there are some specifics, but it's easy to learn. And the skills are what's most important. And now that I've been doing it for more than 3 years, when people ask me how to become a medical writer, I tell what other medical writers told me earlier.
Yeah.
The first thing you need to do is to start writing. It can be just a blog or social media posts, but you need to write to develop the skills and the habit. And I think that the best way to train is to either find some kind of medical writing position. It may be the lower pay range, but still you will get the skills and the experience. And also there are this unpaid internships that I've discovered later. But I think there are a great point to start. There is a website called Clarity, and they post a lot of articles about medical and health related topics. So the website is built by their interns. They have a very sturdy and well-developed internship that allows people to write, to get feedback, and get published.
Mm-hmm.
The writers don't get paid anything, but they get a lot of experience and portfolio. And also there is a website, again, the ones that I need. And I think that I need to talk about it because people need to know about these opportunities. The other is called MedBound Times. It's a large medical information portal, and they have the option of internship. They also provide you actually need to pay a very low fee for this, but they deliver webinars, like they teach SEO writing skills, and then they allow you to write and publish on their website. They give a lot of feedback, so it's a great opportunity. I think that these are the best options. And also the mentorships and communities where, again, you write. I've also done a writing course with Alex Houston, who she has a community for writers in continued medical education. And she has courses where you get the theoretical basis, and then you get to develop a piece of writing that she helps you finalize, and you can use it in your portfolio. So I wrote a white paper with her, and it was a great experience. And it's in my portfolio. So I think that these are the kind of courses and learning opportunities that aspiring writers should look for. Because there are some recorded courses on Coursera and other platforms, and they are useful, but they don't have that much practical value.
Yeah, they're not very interactive. It's just on your own pace to study something.
Yeah, but if you want to become a medical writer, you need to look for learning opportunities where you get to write and receive feedback.
Exactly. Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing all these resources and how you started your path into medical writing. And yeah, I think that there's another question I would like to address to you regarding AI. And so you know
Okay.
very well translation industry, you are now in the medical writing industry, but at the same time, you are a tutor and trainer for TranslaStars because that's how we
Yeah.
started to connect. And from all your experience and the collaborations with other people from different industries, what's your opinion about AI adoption? And what's the major mind shift that people working in translation industry should adapt?
Okay. That's a good question. I think that it's also a topic that needs to be discussed on and on because the things
Yes.
are developing as we speak. Yeah. So my general attention to attitude to AI is that it's a tool, but it's a tool that caused a lot of disturbance. And I believe that in translation and localization industry, it led to market shifts because it led to the appearance of new service providers and the like let's say older service providers lost some clients. I believe in AI in translation and localization industry caused a lot of disruption because I think that translation and localization is actually the sphere where large language models are effective and they provide alternative translation solutions and they improve quality and speed to some degree. They also led to development of new translation services, new translation providers, and we also, I think, we cannot omit the fact that maybe some of clients who were using services of traditional, let's say, translation agencies are now using AI-based translation tools with some post-editing or polishing, or they switched to new service providers who have built their processes using AI tools and like Lilt, translation agency that I think everyone knows by now. They have a slightly different process. They have their own tool, and some companies who were working with other agencies switched to them. So I think it's still like under development, the whole process. It's not finished. I think the industry will continue to change, or we'll see some aftershock. But yeah, it was very disruptive, and we can't we can't overlook it. So yeah, I know that many translators are switching to other providing other services or changing profession or expanding their services to earn the money they need because they have less income, less projects, less clients. That's what happened. And I'm sure that translation agencies are feeling the same. I don't work in a translation agency, but I see that I've seen over this year specifically that some pharmaceutical companies changed sites, changed translation providers. So that's what happens.
Yeah, and then can you tell us about the idea of creating this master in AI translation in life sciences and project management that you got and that you direct from TranslaStars? When did you started to see this need, and how did you start to assemble the program?
Oh, okay. Yes, the master is an idea that was with us, I think, for some time. And I've started teaching at TranslaStars in 2023. And I've started with webinars about AI tools and also, let's say, conventional courses for medical translators talking about pharmacology and clinical trials, and all the courses are still available on the platform. But then we thought that we could create a program that would involve several tutors and cover different topics for medical translators. And when I started building this program early in 2025, or a bit, I think around spring maybe, I thought that it should be, well, I was thinking about the whole goal of this program, and I realized that we have a lot of existing courses and products already that help build this medical knowledge or learn terminology. And actually, when I started talking with potential tutors, I realized that many experienced professionals that have been in the industry for a long time are experiencing the same difficulties as less experienced language professionals because of AI and the whole transformation that's going on. And I thought that the goal of this program should be to help language professionals survive this and maybe diversify, learn about all the opportunities that exist and that have appeared in the industry, because the workflows and the roles of linguists are changing with the appearance of AI. So this whole this program is built as a collection of webinars and short courses that help language professionals learn about different subject areas and listen to experienced professionals who specialize in these areas to learn the current state of things. And also, so we'll have clinical trials, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and cosmetics and nutrition, like related areas that people can specialize in, because I think translators who've worked in medical and pharmaceutical field might not realize that the related areas like cosmetics and dentistry and nutrition also offer a lot of opportunities. These are growing markets and there is a lot of work to be done. And also we'll talk about other services that language professionals could provide, like writing and also project management. It's your partially it's your domain in this master. So we'll also talk about some AI tools, natural language processing, building customized GPTs. So it's not like the prevailing part of the program, but it's another essential elements that shows the current state, the current tools and opportunities. We'll talk about terminology management from different points of views, the services that could be provided by professional linguists in the current state of affairs with the current tools and the current translation processes. And also in the end, we'll have a module on self-presentation and marketing, so that after the master, our students will be able to think about how they could reposition themselves, maybe which areas to specialize in, where to grow. And this will increase the practical value of the program. So the whole goal is to help language professionals thrive and grow in the current environment, and also to learn about the current environment, because that's very important to hear from our experts what's happening and how to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's very comprehensive. The way you thought about it, to tailor it, it really covers all the aspects of life sciences, but you also put into it some modules about AI, which definitely is something that we're hearing every day. And I really like this part of marketing because it's very important that as translators and freelancers, we do have that courage to step out and become visible to our potential clients. So I think the mix of tutors and professionals that you bring together is really interesting and very useful for whoever wants to take the course. And just trying to somehow maybe finish our conversation from your vast experience and pivoting so many times, what would be those two, three pieces of advice that you can give someone in the translation and localization industry? What would you do differently if you were to start again and provide that feedback to someone who needs to pivot or start now in the translation industry?
I would say that first of all, technology is now an essential part of translators' work, and that needs to be studied. And at the same time, the conventional translation skills and knowledge, some basic knowledge of linguistics and all the tricks that were accumulated by translators over the years are also they remain the essential part. You still to have to know the language and how to write and how to translate terminology, etc. That's why we'll also keep it in the master. But for disregarding the master, it's something that an aspiring translator should study anyway. And also, I think that community is an essential part. And for me, in my journey, I've joined the community after about 4 years in the profession. But I think that it could have started earlier. So it's important. Well, if you work in a translation agency, you'll have your company and your colleagues. But if you're a freelancer or you work remotely, I think it's great to find like-minded people. There are a lot of translation communities around websites like Prose and Translators Cafe and others. I think they all still work and they exist. There are active communities. There are a lot of groups on LinkedIn. And that's the third essential element. It will help you grow and it will help you find like-minded people because it's very I think it's hard for someone to find a person to talk to about translation in their everyday life. Sometimes it happens. It feels like magic, but mostly the communication with colleagues and other freelancers happens online, and it provides a lot of support and feeling of value in what you do. It's invaluable. And I think that apart from knowledge and skills, there are a lot of translation events online, offline. That's also something I actively encourage people to participate in, to attend for networking and just not just for knowledge, but for the community as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And especially when working as a freelance, the sense of community is really important to avoid this feeling of loneliness or individuations. I think it's really important to share with the rest of the colleagues from the industry.
Yes, I agree. And I've been a freelancer for many years, and now I work remotely. But when I started freelancing as a translator, I've never felt alone. I think because I've uh, found like I've stumbled at this idea of freelancing because I found a community, a website with forums and discussions, and that's where I got the idea of becoming a freelancer. So I had the community from the very start. And I think that's why I was very comfortable freelancing for a long time, because I don't feel alone.
Yeah, that's great. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we wrap up the interview?
Well, I wouldn't miss the chance to invite everyone to join the master, of course. I think it'll be a great program at a very affordable price, at which TranslaStars always does. And also, I'm happy to connect with anyone who's listening on social media to continue talking. I always try to help answer questions. Yeah. And also, good luck to everyone who's listening, whichever path you choose. Good luck with growing and thriving in the industry.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ekaterina, and thank you for taking the time. I really enjoyed our conversation. I think you have such an inspiring career path, and it really shows that being flexible and agile, you can always find a path and adjust as the industry requires. And I think you're a living proof that even though we've got AI, there's always a chance to rethink your career and simply adapt and go a different path that can be even more fulfilling. So thank you so much once again for joining us. And yeah, we keep in touch and we'll see how the course goes. Maybe we can have another episode after the first program session.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Anka, for having me. I'm always happy to share my knowledge, my path, and it was a great pleasure talking to you. You're a great host, so thank you.
Thank you, Ekaterina.